Hello, good evening,
Hello.
and welcome back to JACKOCAR. As Yuri thought I'd gone AWOL there, as he started off the stream with a hello, but I was
Well, I was about to say like, "Hello, is this thing on?" Because I
no,
saw
no,
that we were live, but you were
yeah,
just quiet.
no, I was grabbing my laptop as I was trying to make sure we were before I started talking. So
You're so prepared.
I know, tell me about it. If you do hear any noises, yes, my name is Gareth. Welcome to the JACKOCAR series, and you're listening to the third most popular racing driver in the Netherlands, Yuri Hasselager as well. Yes, I am in a room. We are being joined currently by my wife Michelle, who is very nicely at the moment, basically putting together my entire desk set up ready for some actual streaming. So if you hear any banging and crashing around, I will be cracking the whip to shut her up. So that's any background noise you can hear. I've currently actually downgraded from last week's setup where I had my microphone on a box. I've actually got my microphone now clenched between my knees because I don't have a chair or anywhere to set it up at the moment.
Oh, I hope this race will have 5 safety cars.
And if it's wet as well, even better.
Ah, yes, the longer the better.
Oh, we've got blue skies. Of course, as an ever professional commentator, I have no idea who's here, no idea what the laps are, no idea what qualifying is, and well, I don't know, I don't understand what qualifying is in general, as you've probably seen from most of my cup appearances, but. We will go purely on the basis of who comes out first. I'm going to imagine, as you said earlier, that the first one out will be Kaya because he's only joining us for his second race of the season due to being a complete twat and not running a livery in his first appearance and then getting an immediate 5 race ban, which was what everyone here wanted to see. So he'll be first out. And do you know what? And this is probably a first for maybe I'd want to say a season and a half. I have no drover profiles ready because I have had zero time to even think of any. So
Well, Gareth, can I give you some release you from some pressure there then?
please be
Because
my
neither do I.
guest. Oh, lovely. So you're all gonna. This is what happens. This is where we see if there really is that appetite to have commentate over these scrubs as they drive around the circuit. And look at that. We've got Car out on the circuit who's gone for a crystal meth style livery, it seems. Is probably what he's got into in the 5 weeks that he's not been here. So Kaya, who said is basically his only goal was to finish the race tonight, which, to be fair, knowing Kaya, that's a bit of a stretch goal, but we'll see if he can achieve that in perhaps the next 2 or 3 years or so. But he will be first out on circuit, making only his second appearance of the season. Yuri, we are here in Portimao. Now, you are all, I'm sure, including Yuri, absolutely desperate to hear what happened last time that JACKOCAR raced in Portimao. It was the Cup Series. It was two weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It feels like such a blur since then, doesn't it? That yours truly, the Queen of Portimao, took
Don't
what was
care. Move on.
possibly the greatest ever JACKOCAR win, holding
No.
behind the whole field. No one in front of me, of course, at the flag. There's like we're talking 30, 40 seconds ahead. A real iconic drive, and Yuri kind of just what, seventh, eighth, not even that was it. I was, it was a bit of a depressing run for you.
This entire season in Cup has been depressing, to be fair. Rightfully so. Because I don't belong there. I need to go back to Kia. They're chanting my name at every track we go to.
Yeah, that's yeah, with pitchforks and torches, I imagine, rather
Yeah,
than
where they say cheater.
they don't
And
want
stuff like
Hasselagers
that.
back in the. We don't want Dutch drivers in the Kia series, effectively.
We do.
It's-
We want Niels to come back. The true JACKOCAR Kia Series GOAT.
No, and certainly not in Portimao, because as you and I both know, that was the most stolen championship that this league has ever seen.
There's only been one race here. It was Season 2, Round 13, the Championship 5 race. And the previous winner, as I've got noted down on my note, was, well, comma, Definitely not Garrett, LOL.
Definitely not Yuri, LOL.
Yeah, but still, I went on to win championships here.
I mean, win championships is gifted. Outstay your welcome.
One was gifted, I guess. Yeah. Thanks, Leroy.
And yeah, another Hasselager who doesn't know when to give up being in the Kia Series. The man that was a Cup Series winner and staying in the Kia Series as Kaya actually completes a lap, which is possibly a JACKOCAR first, but it's a 23.9. So expect to see times. I think pole in Cup was a low 17 or a high 16. It was something like that. So
well, seeing as I'm co-commentator, let me have a look.
You'd think that you'd have that ready. You'd think that the proper commentator would have some sort of notes, but no.
You're probably the guy who has like everything ready.
I know,
including the amount of gear shifts.
Legit. Well, I did pull up some facts about the circuit, but it's not about former JACKOCAR stuff, so it's not that interesting. I can tell you whilst Scott's making his way around the final corner to start his flyer. So we've got time for me to tell you all about the Autodromo Internacional do Algarve, which is near to Portimao, the city of Portimao, and for the A22 motorway.
I thought you were going to say track length here, because I got a different number, but that makes sense.
No,
also, it's a 16.2, by the way.
So it is. It's got 3,204 meters of straight, which is 68.3% of the track, which means that 1,488 meters of it are corners, which is 31.7 meters of track. The track width at its widest is 14 meters. It's got 16 corners, 9 of those to the right, 7 of those to the left. The minimum there's a word in this somewhere. Minimum radius of the corner is 18 meters, and the maximum radius of the corner is 160 meters. That's the final corner.
You're so good at reading things from a website you just typed in.
I know. I don't have. Hey, round goes Scott.
You're better at reading things than Scott is at driving.
That's true. Scott, who's gone for a Christmas livery today, by the looks of it. So
bit early, but hey,
we'll see.
I approve.
He could. I would say he probably could still beat in Kaya's time, but it's going to be a bit of a push now. But up to the line he goes, and trust me, he probably won't be finishing last because we will have some invalidations. I can assure you of that. It's a 1:30.34. Scott also out on circuit. We have got starting his lap Marco Schneider, who's out there, and Marco running that McLaren-style livery once again that we saw last week as Paul McGuinness joins us from the beyond, and Marco now out, and he's another one that desperately needs to finish a race. Kind of turning into a German Kaya at the moment, which is not the direction you want to go in. It's not the direction that Kaya wants to go in, to be fair. No one wants to be Kaya. In the same way that no one wants to be Quinn. But who else? We've got OKK out on a lap as well, and Liam's out on a lap as well. And this circuit, one that does need quite intricate braking and acceleration. So if you've got grip hacks, it works very well for you. So I expect to see Evil Dragon 99 go pole by at least 6 seconds. But what can Marco do in his third and final sector of this lap? Just 2 more corners really left to go, or 2 more braking points, this one here, and then of course into the penultimate corner, which leads onto a elongated right-handed downhill uphill, so very easy to get it wrong if you've not got the car set up correctly. But Marco down the hill, power on, up the hill, and what can the German do? Up to the line, it's going to be a 20.696, puts him pole by 3.3 seconds.
Yeah, you need to take back that comment about the German Kaya, because that is 3.2 seconds quicker. Come on.
That's true. Oh, no, that's more just the fact that I'm bad at maths.
Talking about grip hacks, maybe Liam should have enabled them because he's already invalidated. Oh, that was his outlap. Was it his outlap? I don't know.
Who cares? We'll find out. If a time turns up and it's 17 seconds faster, then we know yes. If a time turns up and it's competitive, then no. But OKK as well, who's coming around. Just checking in. Harry Collier is just about to start his flyer as well. So I haven't got who's going out in what order. So you're gonna have to bear with me.
Well, I could do it. It's Michael's now. Liam's got his lap invalidated.
Okay, so Liam will be starting towards the back. I'm sure we'll get some more invalidation. So let's have a guess. Who else is going to invalidate their lap tonight?
Rico.
Yes, solid chance. I think a Paul McGuinness.
No,
yeah.
Paul's missed his slot.
Okay.
Michael goes Paul. For now.
I see Shep with an invalidation.
Yeah.
Lesty's always got an invalidation in him. Do you know? Should we just throw out a curveball and say Jacko's got an invalidation in him as well tonight?
Yeah, I agree.
So good luck there from Michael. He goes pole 18.903. We'll go up to Harry, who is making his way downtown. And I was expecting you to join in with a song there at the end of that.
Downtown?
Never mind.
Sorry. I have no idea. Songs about downtown.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Anyway, Harry up to the line. And Mr. Collier goes provisionally into pole position at 18.539. So when I said that was a good lap from OKK, I take it back. OKK, that was terrible. You should be ashamed of that. You've been out-qualified by Harry Collier. Vitinho, what can Victor Souza do? All the way from Brazil. Can he put himself provisionally on the front row of this one? Of course, plenty more cars yet to come this evening. But what can we see from Mr. Souza, who will be rounding the final few corners? And we'll also go out on circuit, Robin Border and Jessica Ball, who are on their outlaps. And we've got, of course, Matthew Shepherd on a flyer. As yes, I'm calling everyone by their full Christian names, so I say Christian names. Their full given names. As up to the line, Vitinho, 17.8 times are getting quicker. He goes provisionally on top.
Gareth, did you not say that Shep would invalidate?
I did.
Well, you're right.
Wow.
Next.
So over to who's next? Jess is on there, her lap, isn't she? So let's see if Jess will let us down in the same way that Shep has. So I previously remember Jess saying that she doesn't mind Portugal, but I might be completely wrong. I might just be making things up. But
she was the last time we raced here, if I remember correctly. She was third. Yes,
I was going to say I'm pretty sure that she was semi. I mean, she, in the same way that with Neil, was made a very good strategic decision of actually pitting onto the intermediates.
Very good strategic decision.
Well,
Four laps too early.
I say, well, Neil's was basically started on intermediates and just guessed for rain. I think Jess actually came in under or when the safety car came out, and it benefited her.
Also pitted right on the proper lap.
Up to the line. So 19 flat puts herself onto the second row currently. Shep's invalidated, so we go over to Robin Border. Robin running a grey and purple livery tonight. He's just trying to get himself a seat in the ART team, I'd imagine, as the German making his way around, and just a few more corners left. I keep on catching him at the same corner, so you've seen nothing of this first and second sector so far this evening. We've got almost a full grid, so there's no real chance to watch a full lap pretty much, so we're going to get the end. You're going to be sick of the final few corners by the end of this stream. Because I imagine what we're going for tonight, safety car wise, I mean, it's another track where you shouldn't see safety cars, as Robin goes pole for 17.560. There is really, bar maybe one, any walls to hit, but that's not going to stop them. So what are we going for safety car wise tonight?
4.
Yeah, I was thinking 3 in a VSC. I I think we're gonna see a very early one because we're going to see people tripping up over each other in 100%. Someone's getting clipped at turn 1 and spinning around and taking out at least 3 people.
Yeah, that turn 4 inside barrier is like one of the only ones you can hit. So
yeah,
there's going to be someone there.
Someone's going around, flooring up the hill. And then I can see someone perhaps losing it coming around the final corner at some point, especially if you've not got a front wing. Going full speed is not going to help you, as up to 4th place goes Dustin with an 18.8. So whilst I said the times were coming down, they're now going back up. So let's go over to the Centurion. It's Mr. Barry Baldwin, who is running a 2017 Sauber livery, which, if I can remember correctly, and is completely perfect. I'm pretty sure it was just like standard yellow. It wasn't a gold, but nevertheless, it is quite a royal looking livery here. It's quite nice. Don't mind it. So almost, I do like the blue. It's very Williams blue. So it does get a seal of approval. But Barry, on his 100th appearance in JACKOCAR, does not set a great lap and goes P7 with a few more drivers left to go, with one of those being Jacko and the other one being Rico. But first up, it's Matt Lester, who is supposedly purple in Sector 2, but you can never trust that, so there's no point even trying. And
Harry, was it Harry who did that? Did 2 guys, they just agreed to run the same livery?
Did they?
Robin was it, right?
I think no. Robin was his. It's like the reverse, isn't it? His was grey and purple. So they are running the same livery, but just different colour template. Either way, they both deserve a 5-race ban for lack of creativity. But he does go pole position of 17.203, and Lesty, who actually made a couple of appearances in the Cup Series, and only upset about a third of the drivers, so he's doing well so far.
In this very race.
Exactly.
Because I remember him upsetting Sully Speed Risky rather early on, and he ever so kindly returned the favour in the final lap.
I mean, that is one of the best receipts I've ever seen anyone give.
That is true.
And it's also funny listening to it from Lesty's point of view, because Lesty released his stream. And he's like, oh, all right. And it's so funny. It's just like Risky just completely hip-checking him into the final corner. Oh, Rico. P4 for Rico. So he's starting to actually qualify like a normal person now, is Rico. After
he's
a good
doing
one.
What he needs to do, though. He's ahead of Baza and within range of Lesty. So in terms of playoffs, he's looking good.
That's true. This is the last race of the regular season, isn't it? I've not even made any references to that whatsoever. So
no.
It's I'm pretty sure it's Waste versus Quinn for the win.
It is indeed.
As Jacko goes into P3 with a horrendously ugly livery.
Also Christmas. Nice.
Yeah.
Christmas came early today for this year.
What on earth is that meant to be? I mean, I'll be fine. If that red was white, that would look quite nice, but I don't like the red at all. All right. Who have we got? Wace. I think we've got Wace and we've got Quinn. So it must be. Yeah, it is Quinn last out, of course, leading the way in points. So. Wace running his fluoro green livery that we've seen him run for multiple races stands out, and of course so does he, because he tends to be either in your gearbox or on top of your car most of the time, but navigates his way past, I believe that's Jacko. And what can Wace do? Another one who's appeared in the majority of the Cup Series championships so far. He's basically been a full-time driver, scored no points, which is even more delightful that he's had some good results and come away with effectively nothing. Makes warms my heart, but up to the line with an easy pole position. It's going to be Wace, 17 flat, 0.2 of a second faster.
Don't need to wait long because Quinn is already coming around the final corner.
And hopefully crashes out. Oh, it's a P5
or
for
goes
Quinn.
7/10 slower.
Yeah, useless. What's the point of him? He's still sandbagging.
FYI, Quinn, not regular season champion as we speak.
Yeah.
Because that would be 20 points for Waze and 13 for Quinn. 12.
Yeah, I need to get the standings up because I have
Yeah, 12.
no idea how many
Quinn
points.
is 8 points clear as we speak.
Okay, so so where one would assume that you'd have the commentator, the lead commentator, the voice of JACKOCAR would have the permutations in front of him, but I don't. So we will be making it up as we go along, and effectively, I think what we'll do is we'll call the regular season champion regardless. And then our decision will be final anyway. So congratulations, Waste, for being the regular season champion.
Whoa. Do I not get a vote in that?
Are you going to vote?
Congratulations, Waze.
I was going to say I don't think any of us. There's no one. I mean, Quinn is. To be fair, he needs something because he spent his week getting absolutely roasted on Twitter by random people. So that's great. I mean, that's your fault really for the fact that he continuously just tries to rail on random people online and then just gets his ass brought to him. So continuously going, he's like the most anti-Lewis Hamilton person. So whatever, he's clearly thick. But then equally, he's out there just doing all his pro Luton Town FC stuff and getting completely owned for it. So I'm here for it.
You gotta admire the dedication.
You do, and he says it's not arrogance, it's confidence. But sure, as Quinn finishes that one in P5, which means that Wace takes pole by 0.2 of a second ahead of Robin Border in P3. Jacko up in P4 before his 2-week break, stopping all the cup drivers from actually participating in some racing for 2 weeks after this Thursday. Then we've got Quinn, Vitinho, Rico P7, Harry and Dustin, Michael Okeke round out the top 10. Jess in 11th with Bazza on his 100th race here in JACKOCAR in 12th. Marco, Kaya, and then we have, of course, Scott with that spin, and your invalidations, Liam, Shep, and Paul McGuinness, of course, missed his slots, will be starting 18th and last in this one.
Indeed so, and there's a funny fact about this track. Did you know that? Because this track suits Quinn and Waze today in the Kia Series chat as well, very well. Because there's a certain arrogance to this track. Because do you know what the combination 11 and 12, the turns, are called?
No, I don't actually. I don't know any of the corner names.
Portimao.
Speaking also, about itself in the
yeah, I know, right? And turn 8 has the best name ever because it clearly shows what the best operating system is or what the best phone is. It's called Samsung.
That is true. Android for the win.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, let's go, Gareth.
Yeah. So, and of course, we know that that 80% of the reason that anyone tunes in to watch the Kia Series is for the commentary. So we do thank you all for joining, and of course you can all do the good stuff you usually do. As Niels is actually in the chat, so you can. He's only watching because it's Portugal, and he's just got good vibes out. He's just desperately rubbing one out now after thinking about it.
Have you seen who turned into the chat, by the way, to listen to our commentary?
Well, effectively we've got most of the Netherlands and
half of its population,
and the rest of the drivers. So apparently Mick had front wing damage on his lap. Or Marco Schneider had wing damage on his. So not sure how he got that, but that's the reason why he's 13th, which makes it even worse for Kai that he couldn't out qualify him. But 33 laps we've now got this circuit. And as I was saying, we know that you tune in to listen to us, and we thank you very much for joining us. Make sure you do like the video; it does help us out. Do always like to get the video promoted, and also subscribe to JACKOCAR if you're new. If you're not new and you're just enjoying it, and you're not subscribed, Jacko's going to come round to your house and beat you with some sort of pole, bat, blunt object. So you all know what to do. Yuri, there was somewhat of a little bit of controversy over the week. And some would say there's been some sort of hostile takeover of the safety car review poll. So would you like to explain yourself?
There was nothing wrong. The picture clearly showed that the OG Spider-Man won the poll, and that's what we're going to be discussing over this safety car period in this race. There's no arguing. There's no point. It was clear facts. The picture I shared showed a clear victory for the OG Spider-Man.
As Ben's in the chat says, tyres, yes, all cars currently have 4 of them. So
they're also black and round.
There we go. And the rest of them you can guess. Who's even helping at the moment? There's no speed driver. Oh, there's Rico. He's just about a speed driver, I guess. But God, fine, I guess so. There you go. Kai's gone for hard, because of course he has. And then the scrubs at the back are on mediums. Everyone else is doing the normal strategy and strapping on a set of softs. So as we filter into position, Paul McGuinness, last one in. Fozzie's got himself disqualified.
Yes, buzzer.
Scott's got himself disqualified. Have we got? There we go. We're getting some good slots here. As no, that one's not going to work there, Marco. Oh, has he? Oh, he's just about got it working. That almost looked like back in the day. Was it Fisichella when he got his slot back in Spa? But 4 lights, 5 lights. Pause. Out, and we're here underway in Portugal for the final race of the regular season of the JACKOCAR Kia Series, racing down towards turn 1. It's a good start from Waste. Lesty has already made his way in towards P2 and towards the front. We've got Vitinho overtaking Quinn as well, so good start from Vitinho, getting out past Quinn, who's dropped down a position. Now this is where we're going to start to see the chaos, I imagine, start, because do we see anyone? Yep, there's cars scattering around at the back. We've got a car at the back, that's Kaya, that's decided to go up turn 4 in second gear. Harry Collier's dropped behind Dustin. As we've got cars still tracking all in the right direction, which might be a first ever for the Kia Series.
Yeah, from the rear of the field it looked relatively... Oh, no, oh. That is Scott involved with Jess and Buzz, I believe. Up into turn... Samsung.
Yeah, so Yuri, so the thing is, it was released in 2002.
Where's my notes? There's my notes.
Oh, you need to be quicker than that.
No, I'm fine.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is...
Shall I start us off? Because I've got one big complaint about these old films.
No, go on.
3 minutes of intros and logos.
Yeah, but this is pre MCU Marvel. So this is when Marvel had no money. This film was released. So because we went through a period
of the rights to Sony.
Exactly. So this is when we went through the period of like Blade had come out and Spider-Man was kind of in cahoots with as you say with Sony, and that's what we've got for Sony is the Amazing Spider-Man as well. So do get us started on the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
Yeah, the Tobey Maguire, the OG Spider-Man, the real Spider-Man. The reason why this was so popular amongst the voters is because they all, same like me, grew up with this as the real Spider-Man. Back when it came out, 2000 you said?
2002.
2002, I was 8 years old. 4 years too young to watch it, but still did. Anyway, that's just where it all started, you know. And we enter the film with Tobey Maguire, or Peter Parker, chasing after a bus because he missed it or they got bullied outside, and he is just not getting on it. As they enter and then MJ makes the bus stop because she feels petty for him, I guess. I'm not gonna... Something happened, but we don't care. As they enter come out the crew, meet each other at school, Harry gets dropped off in a Rolls, but I don't want to get dropped off in a Rolls at school, at a public school, Dad. And Norman Osborn comes out and he says one of the funniest lines in the film: "I'm something of a scientist myself." They go on a school trip to a laboratory where they have spiders. They actually have 15 mutated spiders, super spiders they call them. And whilst Harry and Peter are casually checking in on them, Peter makes some remarks about the telescope there, or the microscope there. He makes some remarks about the spiders there. And Harry, as the bro that he is, steals his lines and tries to flirt with MJ using those lines. So, absolute bro move. Kudos for you, Harry.
I'm a massive fan of the Spider-Man comics, and do think that this first one was they did probably put a little bit more effort into the origin side than the Amazing did. I do think the Amazing Spider-Man is a very good origin story, because it actually has Gwen Stacy, which is from the original The Amazing Spider-Man comics back in the 60s. But when you do kind of drop right into Oscorp straight away, which is Norman Osborn, who you meet, obviously Harry's dad. But it is when he's on his field trip to Oscorp that he disappears, and that's when, of course, he does just wander into the spider room, as you say. And does he? I can't remember. Does he get bitten whilst he's? He does get bitten whilst he's. No, or he gets bitten a little bit later. The spider dangles down and webs
whilst
onto him.
He's taking the pictures of his girlfriend. Not creepy at all. Or his wannabe girlfriend.
So so he gets bitten and actually gets, with his transformation, and this is a little bit further on in the story, but and we'll get back to it in a bit, because I imagine we'll have a safety car in about 3 laps time. But he gets a completely different version of sort of the spider senses and the actual abilities compared to the other movies, which I think is actually a really interesting way of going about it.
Did you know? Because in Oscorp on the board, they have written down the effects, and enhanced speed gets mentioned twice. It's on the board twice.
So you're double quick.
Yeah.
Right,
so instead of lasting 10 seconds, you last 5.
So we'll be back to Spider-Man 2002 in 3 laps time, because Waze is getting us here and underway. He's waiting ever so late to go, and he's actually waited right until the line. It's a lovely way to do it, because it's caused absolute bedlam behind him. But he has held on to the lead. Lester Jacko's jumped up past Rageman. They're going side by side. In fact, Rageman sweeps back round the outside. Jacko's going to send it back up the inside. He's taken the tighter line on the right-hand side, but that means he's going to be outside line for turn 4. Has to get off the throttle, and they hold position. Now, here comes Lesty. Is he going to make a move for the lead? No, but here comes Jacko sending it down the inside there. Rageman, in fact, Virginio is coming with him as well. So Virginio moving up from 5th to 4th. Robin shuffling down 2 positions. He's going to try and go back down the inside of the Brazilian. And that's going to end in tears, surely. And there we go. Kit's kicked out, and he's going to drop a heap of positions there. You just can't really go side by side around that corner. You kind of need to have the apex to yourself. And Rageman now dropping down to P10, promoting up Quinn and OKK, who's had a good start, up to P6 for Michael.
Up to Michael. That's what we love to see. Shep, by the way, is not done trying to fight his way forward on those medium tires. He picked up a penalty, and he also picked up a position on Evil, who had a great restart. A lot of shuffling in the midfield, with Rico losing out, Paul moving forward, and Quinn now going and ready to fight for those podium positions.
Right, into the box will come Rageman though, and Rico. So they've decided, as we've got Jacko and Quinn trading positions up in front, as they've decided to box and get rid of those softs early days. It is a track, as that's going to be a bold move for Quinn to go around the outside, and in the wall goes Quinn. Oh no, and he's reversing back out into the middle of the track and driving forward into everyone else. So Quinn clearly trying to do exactly what he did to Yuri in Monza last season in the Cup Series, and cause as much trouble as possible as he recovers.
Yeah, I really like how he inserted the brakes when he ran across the track.
Yeah, I'm not quite so sure why he reversed, knowing that everyone else would be coming up behind him, and he's now being squeezed by Scott for good measure, because he shouldn't have been trying to go around the outside there either. But he's on the battery going up the hill because he wants to get past easily, and he does. Scott should just give him a little bit of a love tap into here with his hard tyres on, but he won't. He's going to be a bit nicer about it. Quinn's already out of battery, by the way, so good luck recovering battery around Portimao.
Yeah, it's great. It's absolutely wonderful getting that back, because at least there's not like a kilometer long full throttle straight.
No, exactly. As I said, 62% of the circuit being straight, so enjoy recovering that when you're battling. Well, if anyone needs a safety car now, it's Daniel. But back up at the front, people that can actually drive, we've got OKK now up to P4, so he's chasing Dan Vitinho, and there's a move for the lead as Waze and Lesty are trading places. But Lesty's going to come back, and then Waze blocks him off one side, and Lesty thinks better of it going up. And will these guys stop trying to send it going up the hill at turn 8? It's not going to work. And well, Waze holds on to the position. Vitinho and OKK still nose to tail, with Dustin in P5. Jacko, who's dropped down to P6 now after that contact with Quinn earlier on. He dropped a couple of positions. Shep, with his time penalty, is on the inside and now the outside of Jacko. He's going to have to sweep around, and this is going to be a bold move if he can get it done. Can't quite, but will he go under and over and go for the second switchback here? Which is what you need to do. Don't try and hang around the outside. There's no grip there. He tries it nonetheless, but he will shape it up. He's on the button already, so you don't want to be on the button too much, because all it's going to do is understeer you wide. Now get back on it, and there we go. Shep can actually get the overtake done on Jacko. We'll see that Waze has now been passed, and in fact they're still side by side. They're trading positions for the lead once again, so Waze back up into P1, Lesty back down into P2, so Waze still holding the lead this race, and Lesty getting the moves done kind of in the corners, but opening up the second spell of DRS for Waze to get back on the inside. What you don't want to be doing is using up all your battery, and Matt Lester, what have you done? You've used up all your battery. So lap 7 of 33, Yuri, and we've got some field spread with battles in between.
Yeah, the field spread's not too bad as of now, because we've got this amazing battle for P3 with Victor, Michael, and Dustin, with one of them being a race winner. So that is Dustin, and Michael, who should have won 2 weeks ago, FYI. Trying to get past Victor to try and fight his way up until the better positions, because he is already chase bound, but those playoff points will come in really handy. He's got 2 already, and to kick off his chase campaign, some more playoff points would be massively appreciated, if I was him at least. Interesting thing, by the way, why is Quinn not pitting, or not yet pitted? Because he's got nothing to lose from this point onwards, so might as well throw your strategy around and go for a massive undercut.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, is that I'm not quite sure why Quinn, who's now sitting in P12, is going to try and fight his way back through. That you would get off these tyres and perhaps do a longer stint on the set of mediums next, and that might open up a slightly different strategy later on in the race if there is a safety car. So we've already seen safety cars come out for the incident with him and Jacko.
Contact Shep and Jacko on the exit. Nothing I could have done, but Shep loses out to Liam.
So, as Paul McGuinness gets on the curb and really unsettles the back end of the car there, but keeps it pointing in the right direction. We've got Quinn now on the back of Bazza, and Bazza, of course, in his Sauber. Now with Quinn following behind, and Danny, who's going to, as you say, maybe look to change up the strategy. Kind of needs to, as that battle at the front, actually, that battle with third position is starting to bring Dustin back in. He's dropped off a little bit, but it's starting to bring Jacko in, as into the box does come Dustin. So he's decided to do 7 laps on those softs. Does Quinn box? No, he stays out for another lap. So these guys extending the first stint as long as possible.
Yeah, of course you got that one safety car pit stop, And you might be wondering whether Quinn is trying to stretch it out for that. But you can also just pit and use it in a later stage, because it's all settled down a bit now. There'll probably be a safety car in the final stage.
Around the outside, Liam's trying to go around Matt Shepherd, but not to any avail this time. But Shep here still, of course, these guys all on the mediums. They all started at the back of the field. Was Shep, Liam and Paul. So they've made their way up past the guys that are kind of having their own issues. So they're sitting relatively pretty. They'll be going a little bit longer in the stint. Of course, Wace and Lesty are effectively fighting for both laps led and the first stage points. So
first stage point
went to Wace. Yeah, so Wace got the first stage, and I doubt these softs will last too much longer. So I'm expecting, there we go. In fact, Lesty's going to mirror him and go into the pit lane to follow him. So decides not to give Wace any extra time to undercut him. KK's staying out though, so Michael, I believe, may have led that lap, and he will go on to, as we do see an influx of guys into the box now, but Wace and Lesty will come out nose to tail as they entered the pit lane, and will filter out around about 10th position for Lesty, because behind you've got Vitinho and Jess, and the others kind of falling in behind as back onto the mediums for back onto the softs for Wace, but onto the mediums for Lesty.
Yeah, really interesting. Maybe Lesty is now trying to play that strategy game to get that safety car in the third stint, as we have a yellow for Scott, who is slow.
Yeah, Scott, I think.
Who has... Sorry, go on.
No, jump ahead.
I thought Scott was done for his stint, but he pitted on that too, so I'm not quite possibly on it, because he's on the Joker, so he might be done if the tires are correct. I'm not entirely sure.
If he pitted on lap 2, that wouldn't have been mandatory anyway.
Yeah, now it makes sense, because Quinn is on the Joker, so he's going to stretch this set out.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't looked at who's on Joker. So Quinn's only doing one stop, so that makes his spin with Jacko even funnier. Jacko's into the box, and he's been joined by Michael O'Kk. The pair of them will hopefully be joining hands once again when we go up to Blackpool in a couple of weeks' time to film the Cup Series intro, and which nothing is planned at the moment, which is slightly concerning. Is that we've kind of just got ideas but no plans whatsoever. But here we go. Shep's still leading from Evil Dragon, so Liam's still following Matt. But I don't know if you've kind of sat on board with Matt Shepherd, but my word, he's clearly been on the poppers, because that rear end is loose. Because that
might explain those 6 seconds.
He is just sliding all over the shop at the moment, but Liam not really brave enough to make a move at the moment, so you're kind of just following him. Paul McGuinness going with them. Quinn 6 seconds behind the trio, but now Wace only 2 seconds behind Quinn, and with much nicer tyres, so Quinn might find himself very shortly being overtaken and effectively back on the same strategy as the man that's behind him.
Indeed he is, as Liam is trying to line up Shep for a move into the first corner, but he comes in short, as it's a battle for the fastest led by Wace and Lesty, who on those mediums still stays within Wace. So I think that we're looking at a fight for the win between Wace and Lesty at the moment. A well-timed safety car might obviously change that around.
Oh, we'll have to wait 100% it was going to ruin it for us. So, but we've still got... In fact, we've now got Wace within DRS of Quinn, so this is going to be... It'd be interesting to see how hard Quinn defends this, because these two are fighting for the regular season. Wace needs to win this race, really. And will he get the run? He has, and he's got a heap of battery to dump. Quinn's going to fight it. Wace is going to go around the outside. That's going to turn to the inside. and Quinn's got no answer on those tyres. But what this does do is hold up Lesty, so he will still get DRS, but of course what it does do is allow Waste to just break away a little bit, because Lesty's going to try and switch back on Quinn. Lovely move there from Matt Lester to get under and over and take the position back, so hasn't lost too much time there, and will have DRS to crawl back up to Waste. But Quinn's staying out, but now down in P3.
Yeah, Lesty, as you mentioned, didn't lose a lot of time. He actually only lost 2/10 from the last corner last lap to the last corner this lap. So that's not too bad. Paul pits, gets off those mediums, and Quinn with a time penalty. That's not even going to help you any further. That's now, you're really on the back foot now.
Yeah, this is, I think, penalty starting to rack up. There's the yellow flag for... Oh, it's the rolling yellow flag himself, who's driving on the grass. This is
lap 13.
Just watching this
down.
for science. You can drive on the track, Kaya. You just have to be off the racing line.
Don't hit that ball.
Oh, he's such
No
an
need.
idiot. What are you
No
doing?
Well, good luck. At some point you can rejoin, you know. Probably before you hit Spain.
He's going to bring out a VSC in a second because he's running so slow. Like, this is just dangerous, what he's doing. Like, because he's now going to pull out back onto the racing
This is
line.
race fixing.
Like, stupid.
This is absolutely being manipulated, man.
Right, so battle for the lead on track, but not effective. Still going on. Liam's finally close enough. Kaya's driving off the track again. Liam takes the lead on track ahead of Matt Shepherd. Finally, unless
Shep, by the way, is the net race leader because he's also sorry, because he's also on a Joker.
This is just, I mean, unless he's going to box and retire in the pit lane, there's been no point to what Kaya's done for this last lap.
Yeah, he mentioned that he was going to stay away from everybody on the track, but what's the point in turning off if you're just not going to do anything?
And doing that.
Nice,
and
25.
Ready, and off he goes. What is the point of you
Pointless.
being back?
Give
Excellent.
the position to Huri. Come on.
Right, so Shep now closing on Evil Draven, but what they have got is Waste closing in with Lesty very much in tow. So this is two very different fights for very different positions, and the guys behind on different strategies. So Waste should have the extra grip, but Lesty is going to have a mega tow here. Down the inside goes Waste already on Shep. Shep wants nothing to do with that. Is he going to box? Is he going to pull in? Now he realises, no, he's going to stay out. They're trying to run this one as long as possible. Lesty, he just doesn't have anything.
Straight line speed.
Yeah, he just doesn't have it. But he doesn't have the battery to burn either. So, but he's going to lose out. Look at the time he's going to lose. Get stuck behind because Waste has cleared the pair of them, and Lesty, because he's got no battery to use, he's going to have to do this with DRS and being bowled around the outside. So down the inside, he's on the power, but Matt Shepherd does not need to let him pass, and neither does Liam. But both Shep and Liam have used all their battery. Lesty now up into P3 on circuit, but by the time he's overtaken, Waste is going to be well out of DRS. He's going to have to throw it down the inside. So you don't really want to overtake here. It's not a corner for overtaking because, yeah, as you see, the back end gets super loose. And it's got to be heartbreaking there. Watching as he's going to throw down the inside of Liam going into the roller coaster, but gets the move done. 2 seconds he's lost in that 2 sectors to Waste.
You can almost feel the heartbreak there. But you would think that later on in this stint, Lesty's tires would come back to him. Shep's Waste's will fall off, and he's already gained 4/10 here. He's got plenty. Shep has plenty of battery, but he doesn't really care. He doesn't even want to use it because he's on a different strategy. And as you mentioned, Lesty 6% on the battery, and he'll be struggling to get close to Waste, let alone pass him.
Kaya blaming the game. Probably you'll pick up 10 seconds if you're driving off track at 2 miles an hour. So Don't think that's a game issue. I think that's a talent issue. Jacko on the back of Rob Border and Michael O'Keke. So the trio of those fighting currently for P6 and circuit. Jacko having a bit of a nothing race as Paul McGuinness picks up 3 seconds. Yeah, Jacko kind of having a bit of a middle race here. Not anything to write home about just yet. Wace's lead cut now down to 1.4 seconds, so Lesty has taken 0.6 of a second out of him. And as you say, those tyres will come back to Lesty pretty rapidly, actually, because the softs don't tend to last too much longer than sort of 7 or 8 laps around here. So we are going to see a very fast Wace in the final stint of this one, but there's a long way to go. He's going to have to do... This is what I kind of like from Lesty, is that going on to the mediums now and kind of using as much of this tyre as possible, because it gives you a slightly different option if there is a safety car, or if you can stretch a set of mediums, maybe another 10 laps. If you can stretch them 10 laps, get those softs to the end and give yourself, especially on a very low fuel load, is what I tend to do, always leave the softs until the last stint. Make sure the car's super light, super grippy. And Leslie now 1.3 seconds behind. Wace will be starting to sweat a little bit, and he can see with where have we got Quinn now in P11, but with that time penalty as well, which would currently, if the race completed right now, drop him behind Rico. But of course Rico will be doing a stop very, very shortly, I'd imagine, within the next 5 laps or so. Yeah, so
Wace
Rico
picked off that final playoff point for the stages, and that being said, the final pit window is now open.
It is indeed lap 17 of 33. Changes for position for Robin Border and Michael O'Keke. Just as I move off them very, very briefly, they change position. So O'Keke now down to 8th position. So Jacko can start stretching his legs. Of course, he's got a time penalty. Michael picked up one this lap, and Robin without one so far, but I'm expecting to see more as the game goes on. And Wace's lead now just teetering on that 1 second window.
Yeah, Lesty made up all that time. I guess the mediums are coming towards him and the softs are trying to fall off. It was 10 laps that Wace did on those softs earlier. So will he go to for lap 20 and try and get that safety car pit stop? Because everybody still has their safety car pit stop, if I'm not mistaken. Or will he just say, now enough is enough. Lesty might have the better of me, so let's get off this set of tyres and go to the end.
What I am slightly perplexed with is the decision made by Quinn on the Joker to effectively throw the Joker. Because...
Medium, right?
Yeah. But why would he not put on a set of hards, and then if a safety car comes out later on, then you can change up the strategy? But because he's gone for the mediums now, he's effectively put himself on the same strategy as everyone else.
Guess he's just gonna roll the dice and get this because if you look at Shep and Evil, I've not got Evil noted as a Joker, by the way, so I'm not sure what he's doing. But if you look at those guys, they're on 17 lap old tires, so he might just stretch it out for a very late safety car and hope it saves him.
Yeah, so Wace in, so 9 laps only. So where does he filter out? This is quite important, actually. If he can kind of get out, it's going to be behind. Who have we got coming down the road now? It's Fozzie that's coming down. So Fozzie's getting past. So he is going to filter out into clean air, which is important. He didn't want to be behind, especially Quinn, who's coming down the road behind him. Quinn, of course, will have tyres up to temperature, so we'll be able to drag probably another second or so towards Wace, but the tyre wear will hurt him later on in the lap or so when Wace starts to get those tyres back up to temperature. But this is the hand being played now. So Wace going early onto these, of course, going from the onto the softs, the mediums
Evil
to the
Dragon
end.
And Victor, by the way, both going by Shep here in towards turn Portimao. Funny. looks like Shep, as you said, had just like struggling for traction out of turn Samsung and out of the Samsung corner. And, goes out to Evil.
Oh, there's the contact. Shep turns Evil around and then gets rear-ended by Patino. That might be a VSC for debris on the circuit. No, already back to green. There is definitely an end plate sitting on the apex of that corner though. But Jacko, yeah, you're going to have to watch out because Patino's got no front wing. And that means OKK is going to get the run on Jacko here because OKK is actually lifting off the throttle. Michael. And he's run out wide as well. So not quite sure what was going on there. But Jacko, well, he's going to catch up to Shep. Shep might have damage himself. He turned Evil around. That's probably going to be a penalty because... Evil didn't really have anything to say about that. Shep just rear-ended him going into the apex of the corner, and a domino effect with the cars all following suit behind, all approaching far too quickly to be able to do anything about it. But what it does do is change up the order somewhat. But Lesty now leading by 11.6 seconds. Of course, he's another stop to make. 10 laps on the mediums. Shep's done 19 laps on those mediums. He hasn't stopped so far.
Is that a medium soft?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So he's really pushing the limits on what these tyres. He's going to have to. The problem with what Shep's doing at the moment is that yes, he's keeping people behind, and yes, he's being very annoying, which I can only commend. But you are playing Russian roulette with tyres, and there we go. There is the crash between OKK and Matt Shepherd. OKK off onto the runoff, and he's going to get a penalty for this because usually you get a penalty for taking any sort of run there. Oh, he got away with that one, but
that's how you do it, Kaya.
Yeah, so fastest lap for Wace, but into the box does come Matt Shepherd, who's finally decided that maybe those tyres weren't going to last. So now it's onto a set of softs. With a new front wing as well, as OKK picks up a tyre. That last sort of 30 seconds from Michael has gone from bad to worse. So Waste now on the back of Dustin. So Fozzie is going to get, I'd say a mirror full of Welshmen, and no longer. But we've got Waste now past him, and he will close in on Liam pretty rapidly, I'd imagine. There's your penalties. 5 seconds for Jacko. He'll serve, that is. Next up, Liam's definitely got a loose end. He might actually have some rear diffuser damage from that contact with Matt Shepherd. We'll have to find out later on. Evil does have 3 seconds as well. Wace currently sitting pretty. Equally, so's Dustin. Wace is going to sweep around the outside here as long as Liam doesn't wash out wide. Well, it does a little bit. And in fact, Liam's going to fight this, which I'm not quite sure why. But Wace gets back past him. Fozzie is in P5. Then we've got 11 seconds for OKK. Quinn's got 3 seconds. Paul McGuinness got 3 seconds. And then we're cleared down to Marco with 6. And Matt Shepherd, who's been racking up the time penalties with those worn tyres. And behind Liam. Evil and Liam all came out as Ian. There we go. So Evil is in, and he will serve his stop. And probably best to do so with a little bit of fresh air, possibly in between the likes of the... Well, in fact, he might come out just behind these guys, so we should have just about enough fresh air to get those tyres up to speed.
It really makes me wonder, like, is Liam now going to do 2 really short soft stints, or have we missed a joker here? Because I have no idea what's going on here.
It's the same as Matt Shepherd.
McGuinness and Raceman going at it.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a couple of guys running the soft stints now. So these are very short stints on the softs. This is what, maybe like a five lap stints on the softs if you are doing another stint, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, who knows? It's Kia.
Have you seen where Shep Evil rejoins the race?
So we've got Speed VAR Iceman saying Quinn started on the softs. Apparently, I wasn't even paying attention because I wasn't paying. I didn't know. So his one stop has been served, so he's going soft to medium. So he is trying to run to the end. Yeah, he is. I mean, that's what another
Shep
10
did longer laps.
Yeah, but Shep also looked like he was driving a bucking Bronco by the end of that stint. So what it is going to do is, if a safety car comes out, that's going to really hurt Quinn if he wants to maintain the Joker. But if he's not going to win the race, there's no point maintaining the Joker. That's the only thing you've got to look at it like that. Is like, unless you're going to take home the extra points, there's no point kind of sticking with the Joker. In the box comes Paul McGuinness to serve his stop. Rico as well in serving his. We've got Jess and poor Scott at the back not having a great day whatsoever. Lesty's extended his lead now, 13 seconds. It was up from 11.9, so he's taken a couple of seconds there out of Jacko. Wace is starting to not only close, but he is well within a pit window of Lesty. So the gap was 1 second when he came in. He's now, 16 and a half seconds behind.
16.4.
So, yeah, that's not bad. But, of course, Lesty will be going on to a set of softs in a couple of laps' time. And, in theory, should be almost upwards of a second faster a lap than Wace.
Well, as we speak, he will drop down behind Quinn if the pit stop delta is still the same as our not to be named later Championship 5 race in Season 2. That was a 23-second pit window.
So that would be close with Quinn. So... Interesting call here. Of course, plenty of racing left to go. We've got just under 10 laps left in this one. The final race of the regular season here in the Kia Series regular season finale in Portimao, before they head to what is possibly the greatest postseason race or collection of races you will ever get.
That calendar is awesome.
It's just the most amazing calendar. We've got
It's going to provide so much racing. 3
night races, and they're all on streets. So we know that it's going to. We've got the only one that's not a night race will be Baku, which is the final race before the Championship 5. We have given them a bit of a break from street races for the Championship 5. As into the box comes Lesty. So get it slowed down, don't speed, and he does. Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating run to see who can actually survive the knockout races, because street tracks in the night, changeable weather conditions, it could literally go any single way. So where does Lesty come out now? Does he come out ahead of or behind Quinn? It's going to be very, very, very close.
Very, very close indeed, as Lesty... it's not even close at all. Never mind! But he is now... Let's have a look. He is behind the leader, 11.3 seconds. We're going to lose something because of the cold tires, you imagine, and then it is on for the last 8 laps of the race.
Yeah, this is tricky. The gap is going to be... That's a tough one to call. That's a tough one to say that Lesty is going to be able to make that up. Of course, there's KK and Rageman swap positions as well, down in 5th and 6th position. Rico's moving up past Jess, who's Jess is making her second mandatory. Jacko leading, but don't worry, he's got another stop to make, so that is not where he will be finishing. He will be finishing much lower than that. So it is currently Wace from Quinn from Lesty. Not anymore though, because there goes Matt Lester on Danny Quinn. But Wace needs Quinn to finish much lower than this. But luckily for Quinn, everyone else behind him is inept and is seemingly not really doing anything that's going to attack where Quinn's going to finish.
It's he needs to keep this pace up, because otherwise Rageman will be in his penalty window. So that's he either needs to keep this up, or he needs Michael to start attacking.
Yeah, because I mean, you look at the guys on the softs behind that would be a threat, and they've already done. I mean, their tyres will be totally cooked by the end of this stint.
Yeah. So
Quinn's pretty safe. He could have afforded to have lose 8 points. I think he said it was 8 points was the gap.
8 points,
so
yep.
Yeah, so I think you're going to say that Mr. Boring himself is going to pick up a boring regular season championship. Which
if he were to finish 5th, it would go. If I'm not mistaken, I'm not good at math, so don't hold me to it. He would lose it on countback.
Oh, would he?
So he needs that 4th position. Jacko will pit. That's his saving grace, but.
Ooh. Oh, okay, stop it.
We need you!
God's sake, man. Right, Rage Man. All our hopes rest on you. Stop losing time. You've got much nicer tyres. I don't know, what superlatives can we say for Robin compared for Quinn?
Generally, more likable person.
Way more likable. Your race win was much better, much more deserved.
Has he won a race?
I don't care. I regard yellow flag out for I think that's for Scott once again. Jacko's made his stop. Right, he's onto a set of soft tyres to run to the end. Right time. Unfortunately, he's dropped him down to 10th position. So unless he's got what are we on now? The RB twat car. What?
Oi!
RB 747. Like. Anyway, the
19.
RB cheap 19. Unless he's got that one that's going to be sucked to the floor by the world-leading expert in ground effect aerodynamics, because that's fair. I don't think we're going to see Jacko perhaps on the podium this time around. I might be wrong. Of course, he's got no penalties, so.
Yeah, but he's also got 7 cars to pass or 6 cars to pass.
I mean, cars, yes, but I mean, if you add it up talent-wise, it's probably about 3 and 7 or 3 and 7.
Yeah, that's
eighths.
fine, but the field spread there is also huge.
As Vitinho clears OKK for P5 and P6. You're going to have to bear with me. I know the camera works a bit crap tonight. I'm trying to hold my microphone and change camera at the same time, which is very difficult. Fozzie now up the inside of Jacko, and he's going to take the position back after losing it. So
this is great management from Jacko.
Jacko
really
and his brand new softs is really benefiting at the moment. I'm sure he's really appreciating this, and he's going to have to wait until the second bit of DRS here to actually retake Dustin. There we go, on the button. He's actually saved up all his battery. He pulls to the inside. He's going to get the move done. He's now got to run away over the rest of this lap, because otherwise Dustin will just do exactly the same back to him. But up ahead of them, Shep is running off the track, which is very unlike him. Who would have thought?
And we're back to our amazing field spread. I
mean, yeah, I know. I would say let's have a safety car, but I think even then we're pushing it at the moment, because it would have to come out now, and Kaya's already out the race, so we've got no chance of it coming out. Liam...
at least we didn't pick an interesting film to talk about.
Yeah, we barely got into it. You hadn't even transitioned. It doesn't sound right to say Spider-Man transition, does it? Unless he was turning into Gwen Stacy. But Evil up past OKK now, so OKK losing that position. Matt Shepherd is now in the tracks of OKK, and round 2 between the pair of them after OKK's probably got PTSD from the last time we saw Matt Shepherd. But Shep following him on much nicer tyres. OKK 18 lap medium, so this really shouldn't be
nice.
Anyway, so oh, I love Kia. So I mean, that overtake was a little bit easier than I thought it would be. Jacko's going to be very thankful for that. He now wants Matt Shepherd to be dusted, and if he can just Thanos snap him out of the way, because Shep is not going to get out of the way, and Jacko just does not have time for this. He needs to be way more aggressive. If you were, say, like the Queen of Portimao or a former race winner here in Portugal in the Cup Series, was the actual talented league in JACKOCAR, you'd know how to make the moves when you need to make them, such as down the inside of Arnau, down the inside of
he didn't make it down
Speed,
the inside of Arnau, he made it to the rear.
Of course, going around Kieran, around Khalifa, just real titans of league racing, and Speed Gareth 89 just made it look easy. But Jack are now up into P7, but outside of the window of Evil's penalties at the moment, but still time to get back inside it. We've got a yellow flag a little bit further down. That will go back to green. So guys, cars to the end now, one of those being OKK, who tried to stretch those mediums as long as possible, but they gave up on him, and he will be on to a set of softs, and there you go. So that will demote him down to 13th. Bazza on his 100th race is having an absolute shocker. Jacko now is sitting right on the back of Evil. Evil with no battery whatsoever, with also 8 laps on those softs, so they will not feel nice at all. Vitinho equally is not out the realm as a possibility that Jacko catches him, because these soft tyres are going to absolutely die by the end of this race. We're on 31 of 33. Quinn is going to get to the end of this one, but he is outside of, or Rageman's well inside his window, but as you say, it needs to be a P5, so unless Jacko, as we said, has got something special inside that car, he is our only hope, and when Jacko's your only hope, then, well, you're in trouble.
6 laps ago, the gap was 11 seconds. Lap 31 out of 33, and the gap is 1.5. The battle for the lead is shaping on to be decided on the final lap if this continues. The only downside is Lesty, 11% ERS, weighs 35.
Thank you, Dutch Amazon AWS, for those information stats. As you say, Leslie now within 1.5, or almost within. Now jump back outside of it, but these are important laps now for Leslie, because he needs to get within the 1 second window when these tyres are just about coming towards the end of their life cycle. They're actually starting to catch some lapped cars as well.
Yeah, I was just about to say, 4 seconds down the road, and they're fighting for P13, 14 and 15. So that final lap might be really hairy.
If you're Waste right now, I mean, to be fair, if you're either one of them, because we've seen that Waste can navigate his way around cars maybe a little bit better, and Waste is burning. We've got a car around at the final corner. That's Shep that's gone around. But if you're Waste, you've got to really be careful now, because you almost don't want to catch these lapped cars. He's got a lap and a half to go to win this race, and if you catch them at the wrong time, you've opened the door to Lesty. Lesty's going to get possibly within DRS if he can push in the final sector of this one. But I know Waste will be, I'm pretty sure, in a party with some of the guys towards about. Usually he's in there with Jess. So will he be on the blower, telling them to move out the way? So they are the first start to approach that Scott in front of them. Now, will he benefit from DRS? I think he's just outside of the DRS window. He is just. But on to the final lap we go. It is Waste from Lesty. Lesty not within DRS. So Waste might have just done enough here. I don't think Lesty's going to have enough over the last sort of lap or so to get within and pass Waste.
No. Not unless Scott is not a very nice guy. But, I say Scott? Yeah, Scott. And he's not entitled to, so he can do that. So, that is anticlimactic.
How sporting, how disgustingly sporting of him.
How boring.
Right, and I think there's no way even if he's going to catch Jess, you know what, Jess would jump off the moon if she saw anyone coming behind her on blue flags.
Probably will, yeah.
Looks like Lesty's given up. He's now dropped down to 1.5 seconds. So I think he knows that it was just a second or two too long to catch up and pass him. But Waste, well, he did all he could, and up to the line he will come as long as he keeps pointing in the right direction. As he somewhat drifts out of the penultimate corner. But up to the line does come Waste to take another race win on the season. Is it enough for the regular season championship? I don't think it will be. Waste takes the win. Lesty in second. Quinn is going to drop down behind Rageman, but I think P4 will be enough for Quinn to take the regular season, perhaps even by 1 point. So, He will lose the podium. Off he drops. Rageman up. Quinn is in P4. Vitinho just didn't quite have enough on those tyres. Jacko equally let us down. So it's Vitinho from Jacko. Evil should, I think, hold on to P7 with Dustin in P8. I don't think that he's going to make it up, is he? No, he doesn't. It's 3 seconds, not a 6 second as I thought it was. Matt Shepherd has had all sorts of action in this race. Paul McGuinness has been very quiet and somehow managed to get to the end of this one in P10. Same thing as Rico, another quiet race for Rico there, but he's managed to actually keep it out of the wall and in the most part, pointing in the right direction, which is much better from what we've seen from Rico recently. Bazza on his 100th race in the Sauber-inspired livery will come around in 12th position, celebrating his 100th, but perhaps not too happy with his performance. What could have been for Michael Okeke as he rounds the final corner? Is he going to drop down?
Out of fuel, or?
Yeah, so I think he's just letting...
it doesn't matter, he's won the shootout anyway.
Well, and also I think he had about 7 minutes of penalty, so he would have dropped down behind Jess regardless. So Okeke in 14th, Jess finished in 13th as that is actually a photo that Liam sent us in of him. So
yeah, accurate.
Yeah, weirdly accurate. So Waste takes the win, and it is Quinn that takes his. Quinn, yeah. So Quinn does take the regular seat. I'm just reading. Ben's put the active stipulations in the chat. So
yeah, he sent that to me as well. But I did the math on my own, Ben. Thank you very much, though.
There you go. Well, there's dissension in Team Speed. Maybe there should be a new leader. I hear this Speed Gareth 89 guy is a real leader. He's a former race winner. Did you hear? 2-time race winner in the Cup Series. The Cup Series, which you can see in Monza on Thursday. Which will hopefully be much better than Canada was. What
do you mean? Canada was great.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Just a random corner in every wall, and then there's just me not able to avoid him. It was awesome.
And
so great.
We know that we're going to see the demise of Jordan of course Jordan retiring in air quotes from league racing, so that will leave him out, and Kyle, who unfortunately broke his wrist, so he will be eliminated from the playoffs as well,
not unless Corey gets 10 playoff points.
Unless we see Corey or Pete get -10. So if someone wants to kick Pete from the chat, that would be great. But if not, they will be the two that will get eliminated on Thursday. But there is still plenty to play for in the chase, with the likes of Ben, who will be happy after his result last week. Will be chased down by the likes of Yuri, by Leroy, by you say Kieran, but he's not really a threat anymore. So there is still some good racing to watch on Thursday before their 2-week break. 2-week break.
Who runs this league to allow a 2-week break?
Exactly, and also
in the closing stages of the season.
Exactly, yeah. When you were getting closer to Christmas, everyone wants to finish up before Christmas so they can actually enjoy themselves rather than have to worry about if they're finishing in 4th or 7th to get through to the next round, or the fact that Mexico is coming up and it causes severe PTSD to some of your former driver or your current drivers. But for us, we've actually got a week break as well, haven't we, Yuri? We're off for a week before the playoffs start.
Yeah, and have we mentioned the playoff calendar? Because I don't think we have. And if not, then we haven't mentioned it enough.
No, we've mentioned the Street
awesome.
Tracks, but we will tell you that the playoffs will test our drivers, and we know our drivers are terrible, but they are really testing. So we start on the 14th of November in Singapore. Of course, the first ever night race. So that will be under the lights. We then, on the 21st of November, will have our first knockout race, our first elimination race, the round of 8. It will be a night race around Monaco. We then come back a week after, the 28th of November, for the round of 6, round 1. It will be Las Vegas at night. So we'll get a preview of the Cup Series Championship 5 of how many cars are eliminated from that pseudo oval that they've created in Las Vegas. Then we head to the final race of the round of 6 and the final elimination race before the Championship 5, and we will go to Baku. So 4 straight street tracks before the Championship 5 at Spa-Francorchamps in December, on the 12th of December. So plenty of racing coming up. So do join us in 2 weeks' time for the start of the playoffs. Quick thoughts about tonight, Yori, just before we finish up. Waste.
About tonight. Yeah, Osborne is under severe pressure of losing a military funding, and he does tests on himself. After that, Pete wakes up and he doesn't need his glasses, blah, blah, blah. The Bone Saw cage fight is great. Oscorp Festival, where the Green Goblin attacks. He kidnaps Spider-Man. He doesn't, for some reason, he doesn't take the mask.
We're skipping over 2 very, very big things here. Bonesaw.
Trying to run the... Yeah, the Bonesaw cage fight.
Yeah, and who is Bonesaw?
I have no idea.
He is the Macho Man Randy Savage.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage. For those of you that like WWF, that's who Bonesaw is. Also, I'm sure you know this as an aficionado of this movie, that you know the scene where Tobey Maguire catches all of the bits of food on the tray in the cafeteria.
Yeah, that is not made up. That's actual real.
They did. I think it's something like 160 takes.
Yes.
So that he could actually catch legitimately all the things on the tray in order so that they're stacked up correctly.
Yeah, that is so cool. Thoughts about the race. It was better than expected. The field spread at some point was as we did expect, but later on in the race it got a little bit exciting. But then, last teammate, come on. Should have given us that final lap showdown, but... It wasn't meant to be. Waze wins the regular season championship. Woo, yay. I think... Quinn wins the regular season championship. I think Waze, with like the amount of playoff points he got here, he probably led the most laps. He got both the stages and the pole, so that's 4. He gains 24 points in this, second in the playoffs, second in the regular season championship. He might come out with a fair amount of points.
Yeah, I think the pair of them have already, with the points they've accumulated over the season, have already punched their ticket to the Championship 5.
More dominant than last 2 seasons, may I add.
Yeah, true. If
get Leroy back in Kia.
I mean, no one wants that. No one wants Leroy in Cup, let alone Kia.
Oh, let's get Gareth back in Kia.
Absolutely. Now that is something that the fans all want. But thanks for joining us, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for the start of the playoffs. You've been listening to Gareth Hall and to Yuri Haslager, and hopefully when you come back next time, I might not have to hold a controller in one hand and a microphone in the other. See you later.
Bye-bye.